for me, now that I'm solo, I just kind of have to do everything on my own, which is kind of scary a little bit because I'm so used to a system where I was kind of given like a syllabus almost, like a bulletin point guide on you can do this, do this, do this, do this, and then you're good. And that's kind of beautiful in a way. I didn't always think this, and I thought it was kind of limiting in a certain way. But I mean, the more I've been solo, the more I'm realizing, man, those days are kind of sweet because like there's less thinking and less brain usage involved.
But also, could you make the case less being yourself?
Possibly so. I feel like there is an avenue to be yourself, even within the syllabus and guidelines. Because even if you say something else, and it's not like they tell you verbatim what to say. It's like, let's try to avoid talking about this. Let's talk a little bit more about this. Let's for sure mention the new EP and the new project. So, I mean, it always, no matter what you say, even if you have a syllabus, it comes off as you. But yeah, I think it's just not having the structure now kind of like scares me sometimes to even be here. I'm scared to death.
No, really?
A little bit.
Dude, we have amazing music to discuss.
Thank you.
And do you think you could have made the music that you're making today within the confines and structure of what you were a part of?
I think there would have definitely been a lot of elements of it, but it's like, I think it's different because it's like there's a whole team to discuss like what the next look is going to be or what the next concept is or all that stuff. And then you're kind of just, I think you're given a thesis and then you make music on the thesis. But now it's also a double-edged blade because now I'm sitting here like, so what is my next EP going to be about? And then my managers are calling me like, so what's the concepts visually? What are the color palettes? I'm like, I don't know.
Wait, so are you thinking about your next EP when you really have just this one that's on its way?
Oh, my next EP's done.
September 26th. It's coming out.
That one is this EP. The next EP's done after that.
Okay, so wait, hold on. Do you have an EP that's coming out in September?
Yeah.
And then you have another EP after that?
Early next year.
That's done already?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, I move fast. ADD.
You're cooking.
A little bit.
Dude, it's giving the idol in you. Right? Like, how many albums a year do you need, brother?
I guess, now that you mention it, I guess that work ethic really does come from that where like I have to be doing something productive. And it's not just the work that you're doing productive, because I know a lot of people talk about the journey along the way, but it's like for me, there has to be good results. So like, I'm really happy with the EP after this one too.
By the way, the music's fucking amazing.
Thank you.
It's really good.
I appreciate that, man.
Can we talk about Mad first? Yeah. Great song. Great song. The breakdown, where does that come from?
The outro breakdown?
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. That's, well, I guess I've always just been in the sphere of like alt pop. So there's like elements of alt pop that I wanted to put. Mad is kind of alt poppy, but leans more towards like mainstream pop for me, at least in my perspective. And I think the producer Inverness that I was working with, he kind of sensed that, and he was like, "Why don't we try this?" And he just threw it on there, and I was like, "That's perfect."
The saxophone, is that like a sax or a horn? What is it?
It's a distorted, it's a pitched down guitar.
What?
Yeah,
weird.
It's like pitching and like weird stuff like that.
Sick.
Yeah.
When you go into the studio for that record, do you go in with an idea? What do you go in with?
Well, usually I go in with either a thesis or like a reference. Usually the thesis is like a line. And then for that song specifically, it kind of happens either in the shower or like on the walk to my car to the session. And I was just humming to myself like, I'm still mad. Dead to me, it's so bad. Should be dead to me. And like, I just kind of hummed that first part and I brought it and I was like, I think this is a verse idea. And then in the room that day, we had Salem, amazing, ridiculously talented
She's so
songwriter.
good.
She is so good. Like those stories, I hear stories all the time about these amazing writers that'll come into a session and like hear the story, they'll talk about it and they'll be like, all right, I'm gonna take 10 minutes and then go into the corner of the room and then like you just kind of hear them in the distance being like, nah, 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 nah. They come back and the song's done.
That's her?
I feel like Salem is one of those people. Just enormously talented. And then with the help of Inverness also, and we just kind of went in there. I went in there with a thesis and the song was done in like an hour, I think.
So is Salem a part of most of the songs on the EP?
She's part of Burn and Mad.
Great.
2 songs on the EP.
So have you? Are you setting up these rooms for yourself, or how do you set up your sessions?
So like the LA space, as I'm sure you know, kind of works as there's like this phase when you first come to LA called like, I think a lot of people call it the speed dating era, of where you just get into a lot of different rooms and start writing songs and see who you mesh with the most. Unfortunately, I found some people that I mesh with but couldn't keep working with because they moved away, or like and like other like technical difficulties, I think. And I've just been speed dating ever since. So I'm just thrown into different rooms every week.
Do you like that?
Honestly, I kind of wish that I could find people that I connect with. And I think there's always going to be producers where you can sing a melody in a song and be like, I think the guitar should be like major, like in this key and kind of like this, and they'll get it instantly. I think Inverness is one of those people. I think I'm slowly finding that team again.
The EP that's coming in January.
Yes.
In addition to the EP coming in September, is there like a connection between the teams that worked on both?
I mean, there are definitely repeats, but to my knowledge, I believe there's no correlation, at least for like producers and writers, other than me, I guess.
No, you're the connecting tissue.
I guess that's cool.
Are you setting out with this like to tell a story with this EP?
Yeah. Well, the story of the EP talks a lot about When the Rain Stopped Following Me EP talks about my mind state when all of that went down. And it's just something that's been stuck on my mind since. Like in my lead song for this EP, When the Rain Stops, I have a lyric line that goes, "Sorry if I owe you apologies, I'm a little backed up, disappointed some people who show me nothing but love." And then I feel like, without getting into like the whole story, I think a lot of people will start to understand the perspective of that and why that means something.
Are you talking about your relationship with like the music you were making before? What are you talking about?
Yeah. I think it's just talking about like the situations that led all the way up to me leaving the band.
Day 6.
Yeah.
Why was that an important story to tell?
I think so until now, and a lot of people that follow me know about this, I always thought that writing specifically and writing, quote unquote, in a way like super honestly, puts you in the confines of a box. Because once you start writing the song with a very specific narrative, the lyrics not only kind of get watered down or not watered down, but narrowed into a point where other people can't relate. It just sometimes puts you at a wall where you're out of ideas because they don't relate to the specific topic and the specific situation that you're talking about. So I was always a firm believer in, you write your top line first, or you write your track and then you write your top line on top of that, and then you throw words at the wall until it fits and feels like a song. And with this new EP, I've kind of delved into the whole system of like let's just fucking be honest. And I think there's a lot of lines that really show you kind of like how I feel about how everything went down. Like the second verse, and please stop me if I'm going like...
You're good.
Oh yeah. If I'm going too far in, is I've had this imposter syndrome, and not just that, but I think a lot of people on the internet, especially in the K-pop realm, aren't really too fond of me. And I've had this sentiment because like all my life I've just, I don't know, I grew up with not too many friends, had really bad allergies. So like, you know, when you're kids, you're like, ew, nasty. Like he's blowing his nose all the time. And
no, it alienates you.
It kind of does. And it felt bad because I didn't have too many friends. And I've always wanted, because of those kinds of situations, my only aspiration in life was just to be liked by people, I guess. And just to, you know, have friends and stuff. And the second verse of When the Rain Stops goes, maybe I'm just really an animal. Maybe everyone's right. Having trouble believing that I could be a good guy. And that's kind of like, I kind of feel like maybe everyone's right. Maybe I am just like this garbage human being that like, I don't know. I don't know. I just go back and forth, but it's in my head.
We have to unpack this. Okay. Because by the way, it's most people's quest to be liked. So you're not like, don't feel alone in that or feel like you have, those thoughts are out of place. Very much in place.
Yeah.
Second, is the internet gaslighting you into believing something that is clearly untrue or questioning your own character?
No, I wouldn't say gaslighting because I've definitely made a lot of, I think, mistakes while in my career in day six. I think a lot of that time I was very angry at not anyone but like the label and the entity that was the chain of command that I was in. But because I don't know, the more that I think about it these days, I'm starting to realize more and more that I projected that anger to people that were in specific situations where I was already angry from something, and I don't think they deserved that. And I was just a little immature. And also there were other factors, but you know, I'm not trying to make excuses for myself. I just think I could have done things a lot better.
What do you feel like you did so badly that the internet really holds you accountable
Well,
for?
I mean, there were a lot of things, but there was one specific time where I was Twitch streaming, and then there were some people who came in to the Twitch chat, and they were asking me where another group from my label was. And then I remember just being like, do I look like the fucking manager? Like, how am I supposed to know? But I could have said that in a way more like, hey, like, I'm me. I'm not sure. Because I like their music too. So it's like, and then that spun out into a web of, oh, he hates that group. He hates K-pop. I'm just like, bro, I don't know. I don't know what to say to that.
Well,
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff, but yeah.
you can't beat yourself up for it.
I mean, I feel bad because I feel like genuinely I could have handled that a lot more maturely. There's a lot of details and facts that go into this, and once again, I'm not trying to excuse myself. So that's kind of where I put it. I could have handled that differently, is how I think.
Of course. By the way, that's
Yeah.
accepting it. That's a mature thing to do. That's the right thing to do.
I think I'm trying. There's still parts of my head that are like, but this, but that, and I'm just like, I think I'm slowly starting to learn that.
I think it's really interesting, man.
Yeah.
You were in a rock band and you were super young and still growing up. And like those two things are like, dude, they're counteractive to the system. Like
Yeah.
rock in its essence is anti-establishment.
Yeah, I think the situation too, and the reason that I'm really trying to accept that it is really partially my fault. Not even partially, it is my fault because I wasn't young then. But then the thing is, when all this stuff happened, I was like 27, 28, I believe. 27, 28. So I was like fully like grown up. But when I came to America, I realized that I never really mentally grew up from 18. And that was the age that I kind of went there.
Yeah, you were frozen.
Yeah. And then like I tried to learn a whole different culture and kind of felt crazy sometimes because things are different. It's not wrong or